Live here. You're the only essential wrestler. We are back live here on your new Thursday night tradition, as Mr. Fitness 2 calls it. And we have with us today on the telephone the guy who is more controversial than Aaron Helms, the Mangler. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. How are you doing? I'm sitting here quarantined by myself at MWE, professional wrestling studios.
You're the only essential wrestler.
Absolutely. The only one.
Well, I
went from the only real wrestler to the only essential wrestler. I'm just hoping I'm not the only one left alive.
No, because Fitness is held up somewhere in
Hey, what's
America.
up, Fitness? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm at my secret campsite right here. I'm living the RV life. Keeping my adventures going, even despite all the zombie apocalypse we're in. And
Good deal.
Drinking some tequila tonight. Actually,
Yes.
I drank so much whiskey the last few weeks. I needed to detox my liver, so I switched to tequila for the day.
Hey, this is the first time I've ever been live on the Jiggy Jaguar show sober.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
There you go.
I'm stone cold sober, quarantined here at the house in my school.
So,
there's nothing wrong with that.
me and Fitness were talking to the great Aaron Helms earlier before we got you on, and I knew that was going to be the case. I knew. So the other day, I see this is the strangest thing. I was on YouTube, and I was just had it on in the background while I was doing some post production, and I was listening to the Tony Schiavone podcast, "What Happened When" with Conrad Thompson, and they went to a YouTube ad. And when they went to this YouTube ad, it was some trailer for a David Arquette show, and I'm like, "What is this?" So I'm watching this trailer, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, David Arquette is shoving the Mangler somewhere, and I'm like, what the hell did I just see?
Well,
and then
you might have to tune into the movie because I think it might be the other way around.
Okay, because that was the first thing I did in the morning was my post-production, as I was uploading videos and things like I do every morning, and then I went to go check Facebook messages, and you're like, hey, you might want to go check this out. And I'm like, I just seen you in this. So tell me about this movie that you're in, because essentially now you're a movie star.
Well, the only essential one, too.
The only essential movie star.
The thing about it is, I honestly can't say too much about it because I just saw the trailer a few days ago myself.
Yeah.
And I spoke with some folks down there, and I don't want to release too much information before the movie, before it actually hits either theaters or the internet or whatever it's going to do. I think the original date was going to be something in March that was going to release, and now because of this virus that has got us all quarantined, we're not able to get it released. So hopefully in the future it'll come out. But I can tell you this: it was an altercation that we had several years ago in Detroit, and it was an altercation David and I had along with several others that might have gotten in the mix. And this had built for the setup for him to basically get shut down, and we weren't welcoming him into our locker room. And then a little bit of time passes, and we end up maybe letting them in the door.
Well, this was the last pro wrestler that I knew that was in a movie was Mr. Fitness 2. And now I know two wrestlers that have been in movies, Fitness 2 and the Mangler. And coincidentally, both of them are MWE alumni. Coincidence?
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
It seems like your stock is going up, Jiggy. You're hanging out with certified superstars now.
And think about this. My stock is going up because when me and Fitness started this whole thing, we were just like, we'll interview some local Kansas guys. We'll have people on and we'll chat Kansas wrestling. We'll screw off, blah, blah, blah. It'll be something entertaining. And then I just started sending out emails to all my old contacts. And I thought, I wonder if this email address for Vince Russo works. So I sent it, and he's like, oh, yeah, I got nothing to do next Thursday. Let's do this. So we go from having the Mangler now to where we're going to have Vince Russo on next week. So maybe it's because I've got these two movie stars. I've got the
Well, and let's be honest. When it comes to Russo, he's probably excited to be able to share the airwaves with Jiggy and Fitness too. It's not that he had nothing better to do. I mean, he probably had 300 things he could do, but the fact he could be on with Fitness and Jiggy, I mean, you start to cancel plans. You don't want to miss out on that kind of excitement.
That's right. That's right.
Well, and this too, with Vince Russo in the mix, there's a David Arquette mutual friend.
See, there you go. Look at that. It's like Mangler has become the what is it? What Kevin Bacon? You're the Kevin Bacon of professional wrestling on this evening.
Only if he was the essential one.
That's right, the only essential wrestler. So
no, but the documentary, it's supposed to be it's a documentary style movie, and I know that David has said before, David Arquette has said before that this documentary, it's a documentary, yet it tells a story. So I know that's the way it's being promoted. So tune in, because it's going to be a real interesting story. It's going to follow David along his road in entering professional wrestling post WCW back in the day when I believe it was Vince Russo's idea to put the strap on David Arquette.
Yes. Yes.
So you might want to ask him about that, and you'll see all kinds of different former WWE superstars in the movie, and some things like that. So it's going to be very interesting.
That's awesome. So the big question that me and Fitness have to ask you is when is MWE coming back? Because I know that I'll get a bunch of nasty Facebook comments from people going, when's MWE coming back? So we'll just get this out of the way and ask you now.
For the first time, let me shoot for you. Let me shoot real with you. MWE had a plan, and its plan was to come back in March, and this coronavirus has kind of sidelined all things right now. So
yes.
When is MWE coming back? I don't know. When are we going to be able to go out and eat again with 12 people? So
well,
as soon as you can gather 10 people in a room, I'll book a room for 500.
Okay, Fitness. I think we got our answer.
There you go.
So
I'm waiting on the buffets to open, man. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh.
When are they gonna open up these goddamn buffets?
I'm waiting on the buffets to open.
As soon as PCW's executive Mitch Bass allows them to.
Oh my God! I knew that was coming. I knew it. I knew it. Well, Mitch, I don't think is with PCW anymore. I think he's with XWE now, up in Salina.
How could he travel so far?
I don't know. He's
wherever he's at. As soon as buffets hit Salina, he's at him.
Good Lord. We have got.
I'm sure the Outlaw's not going to be far behind. Have you seen him lately? Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Don't drag the Outlaw into all this. Jesus Christmas.
Hey man, I tried to heal old wounds earlier on, and it didn't work. So fuck it.
Well, according to some people on Facebook Live, Mitch gave PCW to Adam Pena.
Oh my God.
So.
How did he have possession of it in the first place?
I don't know, because you hadn't bought it from anybody. But
yeah.
But
XWE's another story.
We've got Mr. Fitness 2 with us today, as you can see on screen. He's it's 3:00. It's always 3:00 in Fitness's house.
Last call right there. Always last call.
It's always last call at the Fitness residence. And then we've got the only essential wrestler, the Mangler, on the telephone with us tonight. And so, what did you watch any of the WrestleMania, any of the empty arena stuff, or are you just not gonna watch empty arena stuff till it comes back and we put people in the seats?
Right. Are you talking to me?
Yes, Mangler, Mr. Mangler.
Yeah, I haven't really followed much of it here lately since everything's been shut down, and the empty arena thing really isn't my thing. I made the analogy yesterday to somebody. Professional wrestling with no audience is like having a magic show with no audience as well.
That's right.
It can be creatively different and better in ways with camera cuts and always on the hard cam, things like that. But you can't perform. I mean, I can't perform in my wrestling ring in my school as I would out in front of a live crowd. So, doing a studio wrestling match as basically is what it is. A studio wrestling match is not. I think the fans are losing out on a piece of it. The wrestlers are losing out on the fans' interaction, and it's doling down the show to where I'm not sure that professional wrestling is ever going to return, or anything in this world is going to return 100% back to the way it was before. So I think we're going to have to deal with a lot of changes coming up. Changes here and there. But as far as the whole arenaless, crowdless wrestling, I think it's really a bad idea. I think they're going to lose a lot of value that way.
Well, and I'm sure Fitness probably has heard about this, and I'm sure you've probably heard about this too, Mangler, but UFC is going to hold their next event on a private island somewhere. So, I'm like, why doesn't Vince buy a private island?
I did hear that. I mean, I don't have the cash that Dana White has, but damn, I'm interested to see the concept.
Yes. Fitness. What do you think about a private island UFC or a private island anything?
I think Dana White's trying to turn into Shao Kahn, man. He's gonna book Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, and maybe we'll see Gordo too, or whatever the forearm guy was. Yeah, we're gonna tear it up with some Mortal Kombat. Hopefully they institute some fatalities to the UFC. If they do that, then UFC might become as entertaining as pro wrestling. I don't know. We'll see.
So Mangler, that this whole thing with MW. By the way, Fitness. What are you drinking there?
Tonight,
people want to know.
We're drinking Patron Añejo, the Patron right there. Like I said, I've been drinking a lot of whiskey lately. I had to do some detox in my liver, so I switched to tequila today. I heard agave is a good cleanse for the system and the body. So yeah, switch to this all natural agave cactus juice right here. It's good for you.
Look at that. So Mangler, this is the you said it at the top of the show. This is the very first time you've ever been on our program here sober.
Yeah, and I have to be honest with you, it's not as entertaining. No, hey, at least I'll remember this one.
Well, that too.
I might start drinking, damn it.
There are all sorts of people that. No, I'm kidding. So, Mangler, with this whole thing of wrestling in empty buildings, UFCs on private islands, I like your idea of as soon as I can book more than 12 people, I'm gonna wait and do wrestling then.
There's a lot of people doing studio wrestling around here. Some of the indies are taking up and doing some different filmed, gimmicks and then airing them out. I was thinking about it the other day, and there's no better place than a place where a ring is set up 100% of the time in a secure location in a good building, and I have that here where I'm at right now at MWE Professional Wrestling Performance Center, and so you never know. I might be filming some stuff coming up with some of my students and airing it out there at MWE.
Maybe we could have Fitness or Angel do a run-in. Medina.
Well, I first have to get my sanitization locker room set up and ready to go. Have people coming in here out of the quarantine. I'm quarantined here in Mount Hope, man. Can't get better than that.
Quarantine in Mount Hope, and then Fitness said earlier that he is currently. I'm gonna let you tell this. You're quarantined near fitness equipment. What was that, Fitness?
Oh yeah. I've got access to all sorts of stuff: treadmills, exercise bikes, stair step weight. I've got access to all this. So
He's not using them, but he's got access to them.
no, I do miss the gym being open, man. It's
Right.
yeah, the gym. I'm used to hitting that on the way. I DJ a couple nights a week normally, and not in this quarantine. Obviously, I'm not doing anything. But my normal routine is to go to the gym, and then shower, go get a great big meal, and then go DJ and let the girls shake their ass for a few hours, and then go home with a big wad of cash in my pocket. But my whole world's been turned upside down with this quarantine. So the only, I'm not spinning any music. I don't have any girls shaking their ass for me very often, or at least not as many at once. No more than 10 at a time. 3 girls at a time over. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for this shit to be over so I can get back to the gym, hit a few buffets, do some DJing, and be able to party with all the ladies again. I miss my girls.
That's awesome.
When do you think this whole thing's going to be over? What's your prediction?
Oh man, I don't know. I've got some dates that are not officially canceled still in the end of May, but I think they're not gonna. I think they're still gonna be canceled. I'm really thinking the beginning of July is my thought. Some people are saying June. I do have some dates in June that are still on the calendar that haven't been canceled yet. So let's hope. I'm hoping for June. I hope at least those happen. But in my heart of hearts, I really think we're looking at the beginning of July before we're going to be able to do a whole lot.
I'm looking. See, my prediction's August, 1st of August. Right when everybody's back, right, you go back to school. But like I said, I just don't think this thing is going to let everybody go back 100% to life as usual.
I just hope, and I don't want to get into politics, or I do hope that this shit is gone because I don't want any controversy in November with our. I mean, there's always a little controversy. It doesn't matter who wins. Republicans, Democrats.
Oh yeah, the Democrats.
It doesn't matter who's unhappy with the result. But at the same time, if we don't have people going to the elections, becoming horrible for this country, and I don't want to see this country revert to voting on your phones at home or something stupid like that, because then there's always going to be the question of integrity and this and that. So I'm really hoping, if nothing else, for the sake of this country, the polling stations and cast a vote for whoever it is they think is going to be the rest of this country. Whether you believe that's Biden or Trump or Mickey Mouse or whoever the hell that is. Let's hope by November we're back in business.
Or they could vote.
I agree.
Or they vote for good. Could write in Midnight Rose.
Midnight Rose would make a hell of a president. If Midnight Rose was the president of the United States, I'll tell you what, man. The beer industry, the American beer industry, would be a whole different ball game. We would see Godfather's pizzas popping up all over. We'll make Godfather's pizza great again. Old Milwaukee beer, maybe some Strohs and some hams. We'll bring back, Midnight Rose would make it happen. I think he should be in the White House. I agree with that.
Midnight Rose, baby. So Mangler, you're quarantined out there in Mount Hope. You're the only essential wrestler. I'm
actually sitting in the middle of my wrestling ring right now talking to you on this podcast.
Look at that. So
earlier I was running the ropes. Now I'm sitting down on a radio show that nobody's going to listen to.
Oh my God. Next week we have Vince Russo. What do you think Vince is going to think of Fitness 2?
I think he's going to love him. The character of Mr. Fitness 2 I fell in love with as a character a long time ago. March 25th, I think, was our very first wrestling show, and I tried to get him on, from the beginning. And he was definitely, here in Mount Hope, whenever we ran the shows here on north of the highway, he was definitely one of the over characters. People in Mount Hope are still wondering where Mr. Fitness 2 is. It's usually in between Mr. Fitness 2 and Lunatic Lenny. He's got those damned eyes they can't stop staring at.
That's right. Oh,
last week I've never got to tie up with Lenny one-on-one, and I've always wanted to. I hope here and sometime before the end of 2020, I can tie up with Lunatic in a ring somewhere. That's one of my main goals this year is to put Lunatic Lee in a great big headlock and rub that big old bald head of his. And I hope we can make that happen somewhere.
I might have to talk. I might have to talk to a couple bookers I know.
I would love to see a Fitness 2 Lunatic Lenny match. I think that would be entertaining.
I think it would be great.
I've always thought that would be fun. But you know, I also wanted to book, which this is going to cause some controversy, and of course, as everybody knows, I don't like drama here. But
Not a bit.
not a bit. I don't like drama at all. But at one point, I was trying to book Fitness 2 versus JT Money, the Mr. Money or King Money or whatever they want to call him out there in KWR. And
Who's that?
exactly, I do.
No, honestly, I don't know.
He's a professional wrestler from Salina. He's started out as a backyard guy, and I think maybe he still is a backyard guy in some people's estimations.
I think all of them are.
even Blade and them, Aaron Helms and all of them, XWE.
I honestly don't know who Aaron Helms is.
Well, we just had Aaron Helms on a half hour.
I don't listen to your show either.
There it is. So, what else do you have planned, Mangler? Now that you're isolated.
Well, I spent a lot of time talking to Lance. We talked back and forth quite a bit. But
Well, that's good.
But no, that really is. I got a new puppy, because my girlfriend and I wanted to a little more chaos running around the house. But no, I'm spending time in Mount Hope. It's a small little town. I'm used to this my whole life. All my neighbors are out doing their stuff in the yard. I'm out in my yard. It's really not different than normal, except for I just don't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
But it's got me a little.
Mount Hope's a great community.
Yes, it is. And it's one of those things. I really miss traveling because for I think 11 years now I've done nothing but wrestling. I've had my bouncing jobs and my this job, that job, but wrestling has been my primary for 11 years now. And from training, 8 or 9 years full-time wrestling, 11 years in the business from training. And the thing about it is I don't like sitting still for very long. So when the options out there to run shows, to do this, to get bookings, I had to turn down a lot of bookings just because wrestling was starting to pick up for me with other avenues of wrestling. But now everything's on hold, and now everybody's wanting me to do all kinds of things, and nobody knows when this bullshit's going to end. So you can't really plan for anything. But like Fitness said, I've got some bookings in June too. That I'm really just counting them out right now.
Yeah.
I don't plan to probably get back to full on travel until probably August, if I can.
Yeah. Do you guys think that they're gonna? There's a rumor that in December that we may have to do this again. Shut everything down.
I think until everybody gets on the same. I think it's an essential thing. We have to do it. The social distancing. I thought it was a stupid idea at first, but it's actually working to curb the spread of this virus. So I think once everybody gets on the same page, if everybody would quarantine and do it for one strict 15-day or whatever they say to do sort of thing, I think it would work all right. And then they'd be able to come up, have some time to come up with a cure, that sort of thing. But when nobody's on the same page, when some places in the country are not doing it, and it's gonna take so much longer for this thing to be over until everybody gets on the same page for the same amount of time.
Fitness, what out in your kind of neck of the woods, what are you seeing? Are you, because like Lance was saying, people are out fucking doing shit in their yard. What are they doing out there, Fitness?
Yeah, there's some my camper, I'm 5 miles from town.
Yes.
And then from the city I used to live in, I'm 15 miles from that. And I go into either of those towns occasionally. I do make the peak every now and again. I've been dropping off some groceries to people I care about.
That's pretty cool.
I'll leave it in the box on their porch and give it a couple sprays of sanitizer. So I do get out and about. So it kind of seems like business as usual in some of the, but the closer you get to a city with like more people, things are definitely getting a little weird. The streets are a little more empty. I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday last week. I had to go into town, and where there's normally the traffic going to the bars, it was so dead and so eerie. And it was just a really surreal feeling to see the world like that. And I don't
It's
like
really
that. We need to get back to
apocalyptic.
business here as soon as we can. Yeah, kind of is.
Yeah.
It kind of is. It's kind of funny. Oh, when is the purge starting, or when's the zombie apocalypse starting? And some of these cocksuckers have never been in a real fight their whole life.
That's right.
Lucky shit hadn't really hit the fan yet. You can still go to the guns in our lives. Some of us have I grew up fishing. I can fish and hunt. I can trap and I can fight. And I'm not looking forward to a zombie apocalypse. So why the hell is this jackass looking forward to one? You know what I mean? That kind of thing kind of bugs me a little bit.
Well,
I agree with you.
I've always said that, and especially with the fact that we've got Mangler on with us, if there ever is a purge, people are going to be heading towards Mount Hope. It's just the way it is.
Hey,
You're going to have people coming out of the woodwork. You're going to have people coming out of the woodwork. You're going to have people show up in Mount Hope to try to get rid of you during the purge that you didn't even know were still alive on this planet, Mangler.
They're already trying, brother. I've got a few buried in the backyard.
This has definitely been fun.
He's gonna wake up tomorrow. He's gonna wake up tomorrow, and the FBI is gonna be digging holes in his backyard.
And then he's gonna be like, "Well, goddamn it, somebody did listen to Jiggy's radio show." Well, Fitness, I appreciate you making time for us today. Thank you, Mangler. It's been fun. Thanks for coming on in and saying hey.
Oh, absolutely, man. If I had anything better to do, I'd definitely be doing it.
Oh my God. Well, that wraps it up here. Next week we've got Vince Russo. Yes, that Vince